Welcome to the Pharmacy Marketing Profits Podcast, the show that reveals how to take your independent pharmacy to the next level. Hear from professionals in the industry as they share their stories of success and inspire you. You'll also discover how to attract more customers with effective digital marketing strategies. Here is your host, Shane Gebhardt.
Okay. All right. Welcome to Pharmacy Marketing Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Shane Gebhardt. With me today, I have my very special guest, Mr. Tom Teasley from Hubbard Young Pharmacy in Clemson, South Carolina. Tom, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Perfect. Well, tell us a little bit about your pharmacy, how you got started, how long you've been in business, and just give the listeners a little brief overview.
This particular pharmacy was opened in 1998 by a Rob Hubbard and a Ron Young, hence the name Hubbard Young Pharmacy. Those two gentlemen have been were pharmacists and been working in the community for the last 35, 40 years. So when I came in to this situation, we already had a very strong pharmacy and a good base. I have been here now for 7 years and have owned it for 2. We are in Clemson, South Carolina. So demographics that I looked for when I was trying to find a pharmacy is I wanted a smaller town. I think community pharmacies thrive in that environment, and I wanted a loyal customer base, and so we have hit on that here. So those are 2 very strong keys that we're fortunate to have. A little bit about the pharmacy itself. We probably do anywhere between $5-6 million worth of business a year. We are fortunate that we have some pretty good commercial insurances that a lot of people don't have. Again, some of that was strategy that we're looking specifically for. Some of that's luck. So that gives us the opportunity to do certain things that other people don't have the opportunity to do. Classic retail up front, and we do some different things there. And we also have a compounding lab that we also offer some specialty services through as well.
Okay, perfect. So you basically touched on how you got started, the brief history. So that's perfect. Who would you say is your ideal customer / target market?
My ideal customer is, if I were to just pick a brand new customer coming out, 55, 60 years old, commercial insurance. At that point, they're typically going to be on 3 to 5 meds, probably, if they're coming to see me, or will be shortly, with like I said, a good commercial insurance. That's my niche, is somewhere between that 55 and 65 years of age. I really like that customer base.
Perfect. Okay. How do you guys position yourself in the eyes of your customers? What's your unique selling proposition?
And this did not start with me. I'm following in the footsteps of 2 very, very good pharmacists. But quite frankly, we are the best, and we are going to do whatever is necessary to take care of our customers. And that reputation of just doing what we need to do and having, we go beyond excellent customer service. Everybody, when they come in the door, we're going to know their face, we're going to know their name. We're going to treat them like family. And I think that's getting lost a little bit in the high volume world. That's expensive. On our part, that's expensive for us to be able to do the things that we're doing and treat our customers like we're a 100 script store, like back in the 90s is very difficult to do. But that's the thing I believe that makes us stand out apart from everyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It is getting lost in this day and age. So that's really refreshing to hear. So shifting obviously into your marketing in that conversation, because this is a marketing podcast, what types of marketing do you do? What's your marketing mix consist of?
So when I first came here, the marketing budget and marketing philosophy was that there was no marketing budget or philosophy. Being in a college town, our town has changed dramatically in the past 5 to 10 years. One, just with some of the success that the school and the town has found, we've had new people, and then also with the professor situation and people who are typically aligned with schools. Every 5 to 10 years, they get new jobs where they get a promotion and go somewhere else, or someone new comes in, and so we realized that. We had lost a little bit of that edge. So the first thing we did is contact, we were at a meeting that you presented some ideas with, and those ideas really hit home. So that's where we started, was the digital platform. We also utilized a couple of unique magazine situations. I'm not a big fan of print anymore. I think that while it is useful, it's very expensive for what you get. But these specific magazines really focus on kind of the same things that we focus on, which are core communities and community type feels. And so with those magazines and prints, they also come with community events and organizational things and basically different, we stop at different each month or two, we'll have a party at a different organization. So we're all connecting kind of the local businesses together and allowing the magazine base to kind of get involved. We also do a lot of just local charity work as well. So we sponsor local teams, the Little League team, the middle school team, high school team, stuff of that nature, to get our name out and our logo out as well.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that answer. It's a great mix, which is what's needed these days. Obviously, with us working together, you do the digital side of things, but having that other side with community relations, being out in the community, it's such a big factor these days, especially in a town like where you're at. So I couldn't agree more. I love that answer. Are you guys doing any B&I, Chamber of Commerce, strategic alliances, anything along those lines?
And that's what, yes, we do. And I do it heavily, but we also try to get all of our employees involved in something that they like. One of the easiest ways to get new customers or to keep your customers is to have a connection with them. And if you know, as again I said earlier, we treat our customers like our friends and our family, because they are. We get out in the community. We do Chamber of Commerce. We do Rotary Foundations. We do fall festivals. We do pretty much any type of organization that is out there. We probably have some connection in some way with them. So that way we're working hand in hand with the community. We're out in the community. We're not just behind the counter. And so I'm not just Tom, the pharmacist. I'm Tom, the community leader, or Tom, he's involved in so-and-so. I really liked him when we were working together on Project A. And so that again, a lot of it is about building and sustaining relationships. And we're able to do that through a lot of our community organizations and activities that have nothing to do with pharmacy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a crucial factor especially in today's world. Even though as digital as everything has gone, people still look for that sense of community and that, feeling of knowing who they're doing business with. The old saying of, people, if they know you, if they like you, they trust you, they'll buy from you. I think that still holds true today. So absolutely. What marketing efforts, in your opinion, do you feel drive the most business for you?
And so obviously, community, as far as quality, you're never going to beat one-on-one personal relationships. So that's all. And again, that's kind of our business model as far as, if we ever get someone in our doors, we're going to keep them. And so we try to sustain, as we just said, through the community endeavors, we try to keep those relationships. As far as bang for your buck or getting the word out for us, the digital marketing and the digital age now, even our parents and grandparents are now on social media and Google, and it blows my mind at how successful even our older generation is. And so by using a lot of these digital platforms that we use through you, we're able to compete with the quote unquote big boys, and not only compete with them, but actually go well and above and beyond, because we blanket our area. All I have to do is worry about the 5 to 10 miles around me. And so I do everything I can to control that area, whereas they're having to control a national scene. And so we're able to, with a lot of this digital marketing that we get into later, we're able to very effectively and quite honestly, very cost efficiently get our message out to whoever it is that we want, and we can specifically target exactly who we want for a specific situation, and customize these things very cheaply and very, very efficiently. We can customize that very specific advertisement to whoever we're going after. And so as far as bang for your buck, the digital, I again, as I said, I'm not a big fan of print or radio anymore, or television, because we're able to capture so much more through our digital marketing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I couldn't agree more, obviously. But I think you just hit the nail on the head with my next question, which what's the most profitable marketing channel for you? Kind of similarly ties into with what marketing efforts drive the most business. Usually those go pretty much hand in hand, but yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. And you also alluded to, my next question was going to be, what marketing efforts have you stopped using in the past few years due to lack of performance? You've kind of already touched on that with, getting away from that print side of things. So, absolutely. Do you have any special initiatives online to attract reviews or specific campaigns that you really, really like?
Yes. So in fact, we're again, I think we're a year and a half, maybe 2 years into this digital process, and so we're learning as we go. The online, so we've had some, and again, we're a unique modality. I understand that. So, but we do things, and the things that people have really enjoyed were we give away football tickets. To usually a pretty good football game. I know that everybody doesn't have that ability to go to a football stadium three blocks away, but that has always been very good. But it doesn't have to be anything as crazy as that. We've partnered with some local vendors on some things like unique modalities, like some ice cream, some local ice creams, or organic products. And so we give those away. I like giveaways. People like giveaways. They like the idea of getting something for free. A lot of people don't realize we're after that information. That information is super valuable. But we do that. We did I thought it was a really successful event last year. We had a March Madness tournament, so we were able to have fun. We partnered with, again, the idea is partnerships with a lot of local community services and events. So we partnered with some guys, got some really great high def TVs for really cheap, so we didn't have to put a lot in it. We gave them some advertising shout out, and we were allowed to capture this audience for almost a month, while able to, like I said, and just keep people involved. So that way, when they came in the store, that's all we did. We talked about the March Madness. It had nothing to do with pharmacy. We're going to try to do something similar to that with the football games going forward. But anything to get involvement, that you can get people to come back to. The one and done is not necessarily it's fine, it's great, but if you can do something to have people that are constantly checking back in or constantly working their way in, say over a month, now you're getting 2, 3, 4, 5 returns to whether it's your website or your place of business. So they're getting this attraction. Now they've got some skin in the game, and now you're creating this bond, you're creating these relationships, and you have just very cheaply and efficiently, or cost effectively, I like to say, you've able to create these bonds with people that you might never have seen before. And say we use the March Madness. One might be a 20-year-old college kid who has no medications, but his grandma lives next to us, and she's on a lot of things. So that's kind of where we're looking at that aspect. So those have been very, very successful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great share and a great little nugget for the listeners, because that is that is everything in this day and age. Is, you can win people online and get them to the pharmacy, but keeping them is another side of the coin. And I think you guys do that extremely well. So I think our listeners can take a lot away from that. So that's perfect. What type of follow-up marketing are you doing for your existing client base?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What type of follow-up marketing are you doing for your existing client base?
You guys, mostly for our digital process, is what I guess we're going to talk about here. We've set some things up, and again, your team has done a wonderful job of doing things and making things streamlined. So we are constantly reconnecting. Now, the kicker here is we don't want to be overbearing. I get the one thing where I get the same company emails me every single day, and I never even open anymore. So we're careful about that. But once a month, we send out a newsletter, and it typically has like a healthy tip on it. Again, we're not trying. The idea, I feel, is that we can't try to sell things too much. So we have just a little bit about us, something that's going on. Maybe it's a new employee, or maybe it's we're going to be at community event X, but a little bit about us, some of the happenings in town, some type of health tip. We are a health-based company, so usually some type of health tip. And then if we do have a unique modality that we want to let people know, maybe the flu season's coming up, come get your flu shots. We have them in stock. We have this, new unique product that has just hit the market. So stop by and see if you're interested in that. Stop by and see that. So we have the follow-up newsletters. We're constantly using our digital platforms: Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, posting fun things on those. And then, like I said, we have some retargeting ads, which is really complicated and a little bit over my head, that your guys are doing a really, really good job of doing if we get someone and we capture their attention, we got to capitalize on that. And so we can retarget them and find out what they like, what they don't like, and try to hit them with something else to, again, the idea is to just stay in touch with people, not annoy them, but just keep our logo and our brand visual now. And it might take 4 or 5 months, but then all of a sudden you'll hear someone say, "Oh, I've been seeing your ad, so I had to just come check you out." And so, again, if we can ever get them in the door, we've got them. And so that's the key, is to just gently nudge them with these reach outs to, like I said, to get them in the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, the retargeting thing, there's a reason the biggest companies in the world are doing that. We're all shopping on Amazon, put a pair of shoes in your shopping cart, leave that alone for a little bit. Next thing you know, that same pair of shoes is following you around the web. So
Right.
The technology works. It's extremely powerful, but I think you made a great point there, in that you don't want it to be buy this, buy this, buy this. You need to present value, and you guys do an excellent job of that. So I commend you on that, because in this day and age, people, the beauty of the internet is being able to get that information when you need that information. So by being the experts and providing that information for people, you're solidifying yourselves as the experts and the go-to professionals in the area to help them, accomplish what they're looking to accomplish. So I love it. That's amazing approach. The next question was, are you using email marketing at all? And you touched on it. So I think that's an excellent way of doing it. The strategy sounds very solid in terms of just enough to stay in front of them, but not too much to annoy. You hit the nail on the head by saying, we all have those emails in our inbox that we don't even open anymore. We should unsubscribe, but we don't, just out of, not wanting to mess with it. So, but the oversaturation of too many emails too fast will definitely turn people off. So
one of the things that I forgot about this, one of the things that is an indirect thing that you guys are doing really well, that I don't think a lot of people understand as well, is a lot of people, they don't like, and we talked about being sold, that they don't like to be sold. They like to have the idea themselves. And so what you and your team are doing very, very well is that you also, when we're writing these blogs and we're getting these connections, you're doing things for other people that are not competitive but are related. And so, we write articles for other people or do other things, and then we get cited in it. And so that these people are finding these things on the internet through a search of their own that they didn't even know. So if we're in, again, so we're in a 20-mile radius and someone's looking at the best sunscreens or the best sunscreen techniques that they're using, and all of a sudden we had an article that we wrote for someone else, and it pops up and shows them, and then all of a sudden we're cited in that article. And now the customer base that we're trying to reach to, they read the article, they see that we're an expert in this field, and then they come to us. And so we're almost, by having these links and these things that most people wouldn't even think of utilizing, people are able to get the idea themselves that they want to come see us. It's not necessarily an advertisement. And so I did want to mention that we have seen a lot of success with this and these partnerships with these other blog sites and things of this nature, to where you guys are writing these articles and connecting us to them. And again, so random people are now just showing up on these sites, seeing the benefit of it, seeing that we're the expert. And because it's an unrelated link, in theory, they're making the connection with us, and now they're coming to us for product A or technique A. And I think that's a really unique thing that you guys are doing, that we're finding to be very successful.
Oh, well, we appreciate that. Yeah, that's absolutely something that we love to do, because, just as you said, people in this day and age, the whole point of Google for people is to be able to search and find your answers and come across what you're looking for, and then be able to take action on it. So, by positioning yourself that way, having those partnerships out there, providing content for other sites, because that's honestly one of the biggest things that we see from the marketing side of things, is people are always looking for content for their website. So, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a unique share that our listeners can take away, is produce some content, write some of your own content, take that, go to, the local, podiatrist, go to the local chiropractor, stuff that you guys can partner on, and say, hey, I have some content if you'd like to put it on your website. And the only thing I ask in return is maybe a link back to my site, so that, I can get some value out of it, and we can make this a win-win for both of us. I'm really glad you brought that up, because that is a great strategy in this day and age to really separate yourself and leverage those local and even more regional partners that you can develop. So that's a great share. What services in the pharmacy tend to be most profitable for you?
So obviously the prescription based prescription, and we're trying to move to a quality management system. I see that in the future. But right now, and I don't see it changing anytime soon, prescriptions are always number one. The idea is to sell prescriptions. We can market other things to get people in the door, but at the end of the day, we make it or break it on prescriptions. Now, other services that we offer, and right now we do a lot of immunizations. We do, as I touched base, we do some specialty compounding type stuff, to where we market it and customize it specifically for them. We have, we've just partnered, again, a lot of this is unique to us, but they're out there for everyone. We've just partnered with the state of South Carolina for a grant to get paid for MTMs, actual money for MTMs, not kind of the beat with a stick philosophy that the insurance companies are using. But so we're getting paid to, and again, this is a quality metric that we're using. We have a unique modality that again, we're in a college town, and so with that brings certain perspectives. And so we have just started a naturopathic line, and so we're doing some natural things that are still science based. I don't necessarily care where you get your salicylic acid from. If you're doing an aspirin, or if you're using a more natural method, we're using those. We're trying to put some of the science in on that. Right now, the CBD market, if you haven't hit on it, you're missing out, because we are the experts in it. I don't care what the guys down the street are doing, at the gas station. They don't know anything about drug interactions. don't ask, don't care. And so market yourself as the expert. And that might mean telling people they don't need to have something. Sometimes people respect that. But go over their medications with them, and then that's a highly profitable situation. Use quality product, and people will spend the money on that. We have again, the idea is to fill more scripts. And so how do we do that, or how do we make more money on those prescriptions? And so we're doing things that we're trying to roll out that are going to induce quality. Everybody wants quality now, and I see over the next 5 or 6 years, especially for us independents, quality over quantity is going to be key. And so we're going to have to take some factors from a lot of these other companies that we, and I won't say the pretense because I want to give a quality result, but we got to give somebody something else besides here's your medicine, move on. And so we're and again, we're able to do this because of our situation, but we're trying to put in some not metrics, but just give back to the community, whether those are brown bag sessions for people, or just having quality consults, or getting out in the community, giving flu shots, or whatever it is. You got to have some type of quality metric that you're giving of, other than, hey, we just sell prescriptions, because people can get those online now. And so if you want to be that go-to and that reliable source, you got to be the source. And so again, it costs more money to do that, but I think that in the long term, that's what we're banking on, is that's going to be our key, is you got to provide quality in some way above and beyond just giving people prescriptions, and find your unique situation and your niche, whatever that may be, and really just be the best at that particular niche.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one thing I kind of wanted to reiterate there that I loved what you said was just, you guys do an excellent job of knowing you're in a college town. And so obviously not everyone's going to be in a college town, some are, some aren't. But what you do very well is you use that to your advantage, and you use that, as a part of your strategy. And it really shows, because you're tapped into everything that is going on in there. And then, taking this step further is what you said, as far as the quality aspect. With times changing, prescriptions can be gotten online now. We're all aware of that, but people still, circling back to what we talked about earlier, people still want to deal with people. People want to buy from people. It's a little bit unnerving, I would guess, to buy. I've never bought a prescription or gotten one offline, but just getting it from someone, it's showing up at the door. I don't know. It's just, there's something to me that's still yet to be seen with that, to where it's kind of uncomfortable. So, wanting to be able to talk to someone and get my questions answered really, it goes a long way. So, yeah, absolutely. I love that. What would you say to the owner of another independent pharmacy that's trying to take their company to the next level?
Again, the first thing you need to do is find your niche. When I first started, I wanted to be everything for everybody. And I wanted to own the town, and I wanted to have every single prescription and every person come to me. Find your niche, find out what's making you the money. Let's know yourself. First thing is to know yourself. Know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, know what's profitable. Go after the profitable situations. Don't kill yourself. Don't spend tons of money like chasing the $4 prescription, or whatever it may be, because you're not going to make any money. Now, if the $4 prescription in turn sells you a lot of OTCs, well, then by gosh, let's go do it. So find out what makes you money. Find out what you think will make you money. Get very, very good at that. Understand what your weaknesses are. Try to get better at those. And again, I was listening when I first met you. You were at a meeting and you were saying things, and I was looking around the room, and no one else was doing it either, but I realized that we were not doing this. And being in the market that I am in, we have a very educated, very tech savvy base. And so, the newspaper, if you're in a small town somewhere, the newspaper might be your best source of information. And if that's it, use it. But I knew that technology was going to drive our business. And so we've spent the last year and a half trying to get really good at technology. And so, like I said, that's the areas. Find out what you're good at, find out what your weaknesses are, make your weaknesses better, but emphasize what you're good at. For us, it happened to be this quality metric. We were better than everybody else. And so we just have to let people know. And when we started doing that and started utilizing these digital things and that's it, while social media can be a problem, again, for a small business, if you can get the right people to say good things about you on social media, it spreads like wildfire. And now it's free. I mean, you don't even have to pay for it. And so by getting our marketing chain going, is what we needed to do. By getting this digital marketing chain going and getting our social media links, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we're on it. But by getting these things going and running, we're getting these connections, and then we're allowing this kind of grassroots effort. And so that has given us the benefit of, I can say I'm awesome all the time, but if somebody who's not associated with my store says I'm awesome, and then 20 other people comment on their link that we're awesome, then all of those people who are seeing that are going to now say, oh, these guys really are awesome. I'm having trouble with whatever I'm doing. Maybe I should give them a chance. And so that's my, find your strengths, advertise those strengths, get better on your weaknesses, and then, like I said, know your niche and really, really go after your niche. And that might be some soul searching. You might have to say, hey, look, we've been doing it this way for 20 years, and times have changed, and we no longer need to focus on this. We need to focus on something else. But that's going to take a little soul searching for a new owner to do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, that was a phenomenal answer. You really shared a lot of nuggets there as far as knowing your niche, being the expert, and then again touching on the digital side of things with social media. I mean, social media can make or break businesses these days. We all see it. Online reviews, same thing. The old adage, the old saying is that people trust the online reviews more than they trust someone that they know. Right. They'll trust a complete stranger because they think they're getting that unfiltered, apologetic truth about a business or their services. So perfect. Any additional nuggets of wisdom or insight that you'd like to share before we wrap this up?
I think that's about all I've got. I think we've hit on the things. I think, and I know this is a marketing blog, but in my situation, I think the digital marketing is the way to go. Some of the things that you guys have been able to do, as we've talked about, is, like monitor our online profile and make sure that our online profile is good, make sure that's clean, has been excellent, because you're always going to get some crazy person. You never know their motives. They might be for a competitor. They're just trying to scrub you, or to smear the name, or they might have been, again, you never know. They might not like somebody at your store or something of that nature. And so thousands of people are able to see that. Sometimes not all bad things that are said about you are bad. We need to understand that. There are wonderful opportunities to do that, and you be very, very careful with it. But if you can have say an unsatisfied customer, someone who's not happy for a misunderstanding or something of that nature that you can easily fix online, that goes a long way. And we've done this 4 or 5 times where, quite frankly, it was a misunderstanding or something out of our control, that someone wanted to bash us for online, and we were able to fix that situation, and HIPAA and all of that stuff was covered, but we were able to do that in a very public setting, and because of that, not only did we win over a disgruntled customer or something of that nature, but we were also able to show the world how we solve problems. So again, I guess that would be my last nugget is, you have to monitor everything. But sometimes bad publicity is not necessarily the end all be all. If you can take it and twist it to a good thing. It shows that you're real. It shows that everything's not faked or canned. And so people tend to trust those more than you can get 700 glowing reviews, but if you have a bad situation that gets fixed and that person then comes back and says, hey, this was what was wrong, and they fixed it, people trust those as well. So I guess that'd be my last one.
Absolutely. We see that, it's so often, and basically, and you hit the nail on the head. You guys do a great job. You've fixed those few scenarios like that you've had, and it's turned out to be, fabulous for you in terms of now you have a fan for life, a customer for life, someone that's going to rave about you, all because you went the extra mile, you took the time, you didn't write them off and say, oh, well, it was out of our control, nothing we can do about it. You stepped up, took care of it, and now you've got them out there singing your praises. So yeah, I love that. That's something I want the listeners to take away, as well, knowing, just because something happened, maybe you stepped into a situation that was out of your control. Maybe it's a customer, like Tom said, that is, saying things that were out of your control, or something that you couldn't really handle in the time. Doesn't mean you can't circle back and make it right and try to fix the scenario, and try to work that to your advantage, because like Tom said, it'll go a long way. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. So, having a pulse on those reviews online is extremely important these days. So listeners, make sure you have something in place to keep an eye on those. So perfect. Well, that was everything I had. Tom, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your wisdom and your nuggets with us. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Thanks for having me. Again, enjoy what you're doing. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then go do something else. And like I said, I'll give a shout out to Shane and them. They have done a wonderful job for us, and I guess it's about a year and a half that we've done. We started from scratch. We had a kind of a blank, generic website. We had a little in-house Facebook, stuff like that. And from what we've been able to do now to from the beginning to now is phenomenal. I think we're getting somewhere around, and you can correct me, but somewhere between 80, 100,000 views of some type on a digital media platform now almost every month. And so, and even if that number's off, which I don't think it is, but that's a lot of for community. For me, our community is about 8,000 people. Our surrounding county, the area, maybe the entire area is maybe about 300,000. So if we're getting that many eyes on us, that's phenomenal. And we've seen that uptick in business. And so it doesn't happen right off the bat. I just tell everybody it doesn't happen right off the bat. But slowly and steady, you're going to see an uptick, and it's, they've done a phenomenal job. Any idea that we've come up with that we talked about earlier, they've jumped on board. They've done a great job kind of getting us where we need to go. And like Niall said, the price that we paid for it is being paid off. So our marketing budget doesn't cost us anything now. And so, like I said, I just a little pitch to them. They've done a wonderful job helping us kind of get to where we are now.
Well, we appreciate that. That's much appreciated. You guys are an absolute joy to work with, and I really appreciate you, taking some time out of your busy schedule to be on this podcast with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Teasley with Hubbard Young Pharmacy in Clemson, South Carolina. Tom, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
If you're looking for more information on how to attract more customers to your pharmacy, go to pharmacyignite.com and schedule your free pharmacy acceleration session with marketing expert and founder Shane Gebhardt. You can also join our free Pharmacy Marketing Mastermind Facebook group to learn from other pharmacy owners and managers. If you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review.